What happens to you if you get salmonella? When a person gets a salmonella infection, it means that the bacteria has gotten past their immune system and into their body. The salmonella bacteria enters your intestines and destroys the cells that line it. This makes it hard for your body to absorb water, which can give you stomach cramps. In the form of diarrhea, the water leaves your body. What causes salmonella food poisoning? If you eat or drink any food contaminated with certain species of salmonella bacteria, it causes salmonella food poisoning. People are usually infected by eating raw or prepared foods that have been handled by other people. Salmonella is often passed on by people who don't clean their hands after using the toilet or who don't properly clean their hands. It can also be passed on by handling pets, particularly reptiles and birds. You risk consuming raw or undercooked foods. A number of factors can increase your risk of getting a salmonella infection, including having family members with a history of food poisoning, having a pet reptile or bird that can carry the disease, and living in a group house where you are exposed to many people. A weakened immune system makes it more likely to become infected with salmonella than other types of infections. Is salmonella contagious? Infectious salmonella can be transmitted. There is a risk of salmonella infection from another person or even from your pet. Don't eat with your hands after going to the bathroom or when you were sick, because you can contaminate surfaces and foods and then transmit the disease. Sources and transmission. Salmonella bacteria are widespread in wild and domestic animals. They are found in food animals such as poultry, pigs, and livestock, and in pets including cats, dogs, birds, and turtles. Salmonellosis is generally acquired in humans through the consumption of contaminated animal food, mainly eggs and poultry meat. Some green vegetables contaminated with manure have also been implicated in its transmission. Person-to-person transmission can also occur via the oral route. It also occurs when individuals have contact with infected animals, including pets. These infected creatures often don't show any signs of illness. Recognizing the symptoms of salmonella food poisoning. Symptoms of salmonella food poisoning usually come within 8 to 72 hours of consumption. Symptoms include a lack of urine, dry mouth, and a bloody stool. In children and infants, dehydration caused by diarrhea is a serious issue. In one day, the very young can be seriously dehydrated. This can cause death. Some salmonella infections cause painful joints known as reactive arthritis. Symptoms can last for months or years and can develop into chronic arthritis. Diagnosing salmonella food poisoning. To diagnose salmonella food poisoning, your doctor will perform a physical examination. Your abdomen may be tender. They may be looking for a rash with small pink dots on your skin. They may indicate a serious form of salmonella infection called typhoid fever if these dots are accompanied by a high fever. Your doctor may also perform a blood test or a stool sample. This is to look for evidence and samples. You can give a sample of your poop from your own home. Your provider will give you a sterile container and instructions on how to collect a sample. It will be tested for salmonella bacteria in a laboratory sample. Other body fluids or tissues like urine or a sample taken from an accident may be used to test for salmonella. Your provider may collect blood from your arm with a needle, and a lab will try to grow salmonella from your blood sample. Non-invasive edit. There are currently about 2,000 species of non-typhoidal salmonella. They are responsible for as many as 1.4 million illnesses in the United States each year. People who are at risk for severe illness include infants, elderly, organ transplant recipients, and immunocompromised individuals. The organisms enter the digestive tract and must be ingested in large numbers by healthy adults to cause disease. An infection can only begin after living salmonella reach the gastrointestinal tract. Some organisms are killed in the stomach, while others enter the small intestinal tract and multiply there. It is responsible for the destruction of most ingested bacteria, but salmonella has evolved a degree of tolerance to acidic environments that allows a subset of bacteria to survive. It is also possible that bacteria colonies can be trapped in the mucus produced in the esophagus. During the incubation period, nearby host cells are poisoned by endotoxins released from dead salmonella. The local response to the endotoxins is enteritis, and a gastrointestinal condition. Only a small number of clarifications of the bacteria can prevent the infection. Food handling: wash fruit and vegetables before consuming. Meat and eggs should be cooked thoroughly. Keep cookware clean. Avoid drinking untreated water from sources such as rivers and lakes. Salmonella can live in different foods for varying lengths of time. Some researchers found that the bacteria can live in cookies and cracker sandwiches for at least 6 months in 2015. How is Salmonella treated? You usually don't treat Salmonella with a drug. If you are seriously ill or at risk for complications, your healthcare provider will treat you with antibiotics. If you have severe diarrhea, you may need to be hospitalized. You should drink a lot of water. In case you are dehydrated, your doctor may give you some fluids. Safe food preparation practices for reducing your risk of Salmonella. When cooking food, there are several ways to reduce your risk of Salmonella. After going to the bathroom, always wash your hands with soap and water. Cook the food to a safe temperature before consumption. Immediately cool or freeze meat and poultry. Never drink milk or food made from unpasteurized milk. If you are working with meat, poultry, seafood, or eggs, don't handle other foods. If your food is raw or undercooked, do not eat it. Throw it out if it's undercooked or overcooked. Safe animal handling for reducing your risk of Salmonella. Almost any animal can have a Salmonella infection or carry Salmonella bacteria on its fur, feathers, or skin. Chickens, ducks, and turtles are at the highest risk of carrying Salmonella infections. Wash your hands after touching any animals, including pets, food, water, or litter boxes. If you have a weak immune system or are older than 65 or younger than 5, you should not contact or interact with any high-risk animals. Do not eat or drink near any high-risk animal. If possible, clean your pet's habitat outside. Do not use the kitchen sink to clean your pet's toys. Please don't touch animals or put your hands in their mouths. What can I expect if I have Salmonella? Salmonella is usually self-limiting, meaning that it goes away without treatment after a few days of symptoms. You can manage at home until you feel better. In the event of spleen cell disease or a compromised immune system, your healthcare provider may prescribe antibiotics to treat you for the illness. What questions should I ask my doctor? Salmonella poisoning is a common occurrence. It is unpleasant but usually not serious. Give yourself plenty of fluids and don't hesitate to contact your healthcare provider if you don't feel better in a few days. If you have a compromised immune system or are at high risk of developing a serious illness, you should ask your provider if you should be on antibiotics. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe, like, and share.